Nobody's perfect. So everybody have a ups and downs in the life. You have to talk and all that. And the more you get older, you realize you have to compromise, you have to work it out. That's me.
I've had tons and tons and tons of requests from you all asking me if I can bring the woman who took the brave and courageous opportunity to raise my younger brother and I after we had gone through a slew of losses, losing my mom, my dad, and my brother. One of the pioneers of the mama bears, which I call her my bonus mama, my mama bear. She is none other than my bua.
Sometimes parents are not wrong because they always good for the kids. They want it to be protected and they are strict. I did not like it myself in the beginning, but later on I realized in a way was very good. They are strict, but that's why it turned out to be very good. These parents should have a good relationship with the kids.
We talk about how we handle communication in our relationship, boundaries, independence, some of the things that she actually thought about me growing up, and how we get into conflict still to this day. We don't agree on a lot of things, but I think we can respect the fact that we don't agree. I just want to bring her to the brave table so that we can have some lighthearted moments. But what do you think for most parents who would never say, it's my fault? They always say it's the younger person's fault. What do you say to them?
I will say no. If you are wrong, you should admit, hey, this is my fault. I apologize. But lots of people having an ego, they would not accept that. I'm learning to embrace all of me, my sadness, my anger, my rage, and also my beauty, my depth, my passion, and my love. They all can coexist.
Coexist.
What
do you think about that card, Bo?
Oh, this card is remind me like me. Mm-hmm. And lots of things remind me like sadness, anger, beauty.
Would you say you get angry a lot?
Sometimes I get angry, but not all the time. I'm a happy person.
Who do you think you get the anger from? Your mom, like Dadi, or
No,
Dadaji?
I got anger from my father. My father was like a controlling type, very angry person. But even I did not spend that much time with my parents because I went to the boarding school age of 10. So,
how was it growing up with your parents?
I was not very close to my parents. Because my father comes once a year.
Once a year?
Once a year. Because he was diplomat once a year, but he was not...
Where were you guys living at this time?
We are living in New Delhi, and in the mansion, we are having 7 family lives on that mansion house. And
it's a joint family?
Right, and very close, very, very...
But 7 families lived in the same house?
Same house. This was big house, very big house. So everybody having like a 2-bedroom.
This was where in Delhi? South X?
No, not South X. We built up our own house. We live in an old Delhi, but they call like a New Delhi. And then my father left India, 1950, and then he was.
And you were what, 3 years old?
Yeah, my brother was born, and he was 9 months old, and then he got promoted. So my father thought he's very lucky for me. So, but he was never with the family much.
But where did he go?
He went to first, he got a Kabul, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. He was traveling all over the world, and he works with the UNICEF. And he used to come
in
home.
1950s?
1950s.
Oh, wow.
And he was very good. He spoke 23 languages. He has to, because when he's traveling, he has to learn all that language to translate and all that. But he was very, very smart guy, very smart. But he never ever spent time with the family.
How did that make you feel?
I feel bad because I was not very close. And if I want something, I have to tell my mom. Because my father was very, very strict man, very strict. He would not give easy.
Who do you think out of all your brothers was similar to Dadaji?
Similar to Dadaji is my your father.
Oh, Pa.
Yeah, very, very intelligent, very outspoken, were not afraid to anyone. And my father knew. And he always said that my 3 kids are very, very independent, won't listen to anybody. They will do it whatever they want it.
So who were you the closest to?
I'm very, very close to my your father, because he's a person, he invited me here, because I always wrote a letter, I wanna, please, even you can't find a pay pen for me, I can continue myself. I wanna get out from the India.
You wanted to leave India?
Yes.
Even when you were a little girl?
Yes.
Even when you were at the boarding school?
Even I was at boarding school, because my family, my parents never came to my boarding school where I'm studying and all.
Even at 10 years old?
Even 10 years, I hate it. And my sister used to say, whether you hate it, your father have no mercy, so you get used to.
Wow.
So first 2 years, I was very hard for me. I hated, I crying, but then I realized, okay, my family is not gonna support me. I have to deal it. So then I get used to. But I get now
Do you think that made you so
strong.
Okay, yes. But do you think it also made you, how do you think that impacted you now or even in your life?
Feel impacted, and sometimes I regret also why my parents never ever came like other parents. Because when we have a function and people ask, how come your parents are not here? But my brother always support me and they're always there. But I say my father is a diplomat and he's a very busy man. He always comes in December month. And I have a function in December month. But he was so busy with the parties and all that, but he did not have a time for our own kids.
Do you think that contributed to making you very self-sufficient?
Self-sufficient and then very independent. I'm very, very independent.
And I feel like growing up, you've always said, I don't trust nobody's. Is that true?
That's true, because I did not trust. My father always think he have an ego problem. He make lots of money. He say, I say, I don't give a damn about money. God has given me 2 hands. I will make my own money. I don't care. Me and my brother didn't care about your money. So that's why we are left India, very success.
You and Pa.
Yeah.
And you guys came to the
Right.
U.S.
Yeah.
So let's jump in a little bit. So you had the strict upbringing.
Yes.
And, you know, I even wrote this in the book. Remember the time where you wanted to go back to your school, your boarding school, after your dad died suddenly. And
yes. My father, when I came in the vacation, and I supposed to go back in July month, but then my father passed away. So
and you were 16 or 18?
No, it's younger than that, 16 probably.
16.
My mom said, you can't go anymore. I said, why? He said, because our embassy was paying the money for our tuition, and which was very expensive, and not everybody can afford that boarding school. So I got furious. I said, my God. My mom was very strict, so finally they didn't send. They said, you want to go college here. I went to private.
So I'm going to stop you there because so she didn't let you go.
No.
And I remember and I wrote this because I talked about generational trauma in the book, That Suck Now What? And I wrote a specific chapter on, do you remember?
I remember.
The summer when I wanted to leave to Italy.
Right.
To get away from everything.
Yeah.
And this was after Pa died. So we're repeating history in many ways. So this is how trauma gets passed on. And I remember you were so against me.
Yes, I was
leaving.
against because both the parents passed away, and I was a little bit worried. You know what, you're going. So a little bit concerned. But then I think about it. I say, let her go, because she will learn hard way.
What does it mean, the hard way?
Hard way in a sense, like the way I learn it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I thought, put you in that position. Okay, she will get more strong, more independent, let it be. But a lot of people always, my family say, why? I say, that's okay, let her go. If she want it,
Yeah, because I didn't go the year that he died. I went the year after
that. Yeah.
And I had to convince you and Mama Femi,
and nobody.
My grandmother, and nobody really wanted me to go. But I wrote that, and I wanted to bring it up here because isn't that interesting that you had the same situation happen with your mom?
Yes.
Yet you also did the same thing to me as like my bonus mom, as you are my bonus mom.
Yeah.
You have
but
been.
You know what? Because I was not close to my mom, and she was very, very strict. Then I said, sometimes it comes like a generation. Okay, she's alone. Who knows how she's gonna live over there? Life is really tough and all that. But then I said, okay, let's see. But the reason I was didn't want it because your younger brother was very young. I say she's going away. Your brother is so young. That was a little bit I was afraid, to be honest.
Yeah. I can see how that could have been hard for you as the elder. So what were some of the things that, as I was growing up?
You are growing up in the beginning was very young, you are okay, but when you're going in the grade, you're always having a party, this and that. Your father was very, very, very strict, very strict. He didn't want it, but sometimes you lie, and I get mad at sometimes you.
Did you know the times that I would lie about seeing?
Yes, I knew that, but
seeing boys. Can you tell the audience like what part of why were you guys? I mean, both you and Pop, but you were so against me dating.
Because you're young, and we didn't want it to be dating. We wanted to be you focus on study, and that's what sometimes you get angry, you fight with your father. I get mad at you. Okay, hey, don't act like that. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, this was obviously before he got sick.
Yeah, and I said no. But sometimes you are out of hands. But then really,
did you think at that point I would grow to be the person I am today?
No, I thought maybe the way she is doing, I hope she will turn out very good. But I'm so glad after the parents pass away, you turn out so great. I'm so happy for that. But we are worried about, you're going out, having so much party, this and that. So
what advice would you give maybe people listening, either parents listening who have teenagers, or maybe people listening who are maybe in their 20s and 30s, and they probably don't have good relationships with their elders or their parents or their caregivers because of some of the restrictions that they had from their strict parents? What advice would you give to them?
Sometimes parents are not wrong because they always good for the kids. They wanted to be protected, and they are strict. I did not like it myself in the beginning, but later on I realized in a way was very good. They are strict, but that's why it turned out to be very good. That's why I always tell the parents should have a good relationship with the kids and be honest with your kids, and kids should be honest with the parents. They always mention where they're going, who they are.
Yeah, but the thing is but there were people that you didn't like that I was dating or hanging around with. And it's not like, I wasn't doing drugs or anything like that. However, so...
Yes, we did not like it. We said you are dating the wrong person. That's not with our culture.
So, and I understand that. But I want to also speak to the reasons why as children or people younger, why we lie. We lie because it's not safe to tell the truth. And it wasn't safe to tell the truth. And
why not? Because I think it says if you have a good
because if you're gonna say no, I'm not gonna have you go, but I want to go because I was dating this person or with a person. And I think I'm bringing this up because I think it will give context to why many times people who have Asian strict upbringing or any kind of upbringing or immigrant upbringing, I know you want to keep us safe and protected.
Right.
But I think it does the opposite because it actually makes us lie more. There's no open communication. I remember days where Pod didn't want to talk to me about that. And I was like, it was like, nope, you're not dating and you just focus on school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But sometimes parents always think for the kids to be safe, because you never know whom that she's dating, what background. So that's what really concerned about that, especially as a woman. Girls, they are more protected to girls than boy, because they don't want her to be trapped in a wrong way.
I don't think you had any of these restrictions with Vinay.
No, the reason I did not have, because
with my brother.
Yes, he was a boy. So in a boy, you cannot be much get restricted. But we always give him a good advice. Hey, be careful who your friends are, and all.
So he could date anybody. There was no restrictions there.
No, still I will say that no, you have to follow your roots, and if you want to date, it's up to you. But I will.
But you didn't follow your roots. Who did you marry?
To be honest,
Who did you marry, Bo?
I married to a white guy. The reason I married to a white guy, because I have seen so much trauma in my house. My family was drinking, fighting. So I decided, when I saw this kind of things in my house, so I hated.
A lot of domestic violence.
Domestic violence. I hated. I said, damn, I'm not going to marry to any Indians. No way. I will not. And even my family was pushing me to get married. And I said, no way. I will run away, but I'm not going to marry to Indians. So I was calling my brother, please invite me. And
please invite you to the U.S.
U.S. And finally, he invited me. And then first time I got rejected. My visa got rejected. And second time again I try. They say, what? You have a guarantee you are going to come back? I said, listen, why should I will stay in your country? I will be come back. I just want to go attend my brother's wedding. And I have property here and all this thing I show. I have money and I will not going to be staying.
But I want to also, so then you did meet Uncle Glenn, and he's a great guy.
Yes.
But don't you think it's a little hypocritical? You wanted us to go back to our, quote, roots, but yet you married outside of the culture completely.
And yes.
Uncle Glenn is a great guy. Shout out to Uncle Glenn.
No. The reason now I realize, if you find a nice guy, no, I have no problem, but sometimes the reason I married, I told my husband, okay, my family has to approve. My brother has to approve. And they are against my family. You are marrying to a white guy. And they give a divorce, which is not acceptable in our family in those days. I said, you know one thing? If I marry to Indian, and if I didn't get along, I will give a divorce to him too. I'm not going to stay. I will not put up all this nonsense. So I talked to my brother, and my brother said, okay, we met his family, and then he realized, they're having a background of European background, nice. So even he didn't care about the in India family. He said,
Well, I remember the time when we were growing up and we would go camping with Uncle Glenn's family.
Yes.
And they had a camper. And you came from India. How was that for you?
It was camper. I did not like it at all. I said, oh my gosh, I hated this.
What did it remind you of?
It reminds me, I was so scared. I said, God, this is like, I'm not a camping person, but they're having a camper, which is not a problem.
Why aren't you a camping person?
We used to go to different places, North Carolina, South Carolina, we have a camper. But the problem is we do not have a bathroom, so we have to go bathroom in the public.
Yeah, but that's camping.
The camping, but I did not like it. I say, otherwise they have everything inside, kitchen, all that. But then I say, but I get used to it. I say, okay,
So, I want to ask you this because we've had very interesting relationship. We've had times where we didn't talk.
Yes.
And I just want to say this too. You're very strong and you're very opinionated, and I respect that in you. And I think for a while, I also, there were times where I did not like you.
That I can say the way you are dating, first, and I did not, I mentioned to you, I said, Neeta, are you dating this guy? You said, no, he's my classmate. I said, okay, if you're friends, classmate is okay, but do not marry it. But you never listen, I said. And then
So what was the hardest for you?
I was having a hard time because I did not like that guy at all, because he reminds me like my father, like an ego type person. But I want to protect. I said, damn, this marriage is not going to be last. And I get a fight with you. I mentioned, okay, I'm not coming on your engagement and all that. I don't want it.
The first
But-
wedding.
First
Yeah.
wedding. But then I said, then Vinay was telling, Bua, that's not nice. You should come. And I said, okay. And then we went, and
And I really want to draw attention to anybody who's kind of going through something where they feel that they're so alone, but they feel like they need to tell somebody else. And for me, it was, I finally understood that I was in an unhealthy relationship. I was in a toxic relationship. I didn't know where to go, and I knew that I needed to tell somebody, and I finally told you. And so for anybody listening to this thinking that they don't have anybody to share, they don't have anybody to tell, because as you're already listening to this conversation, we definitely had times in our relationship where it was very rocky, where you didn't approve half the things I was doing. You also were put in a very odd position because you kind of then became that mother figure role to raise teenagers, even though I was also very well adulting to raise my
Yeah.
brother. And I think the idea of so that you already had a kind of a role to fill in many ways, but then also me dropping this news to you that I was in a toxic relationship. And then you said, because your response was very opposite than what I thought you were going to say.
no, when you mentioned, I still remember when you're having a tonsils, I stay in your house. I did mention to you, I said, Neeta, I don't feel comfortable in your house. And you always say, why? I said, somehow I
And I feel like you kind of knew.
knew.
You
and-
secretly knew. And then when I told you, I don't know if you remember this, but you actually shared, you said, it's going to be okay. And that's when I think everything changed in our relationship, if you recall.
No, he was, somehow I noticed.
But I wanted to just speak to that point. I wanted to speak to that point for other people who are also watching this, that finally I felt that you were actually on my side for
I
the
was
first
in
time.
your side. I was in
But
your
before
side.
that, I would
Before
never.
I was not.
Yeah, before that, because we hadn't talked for like 10 months,
Right.
and
we
that
did
was
not.
the height of where we obviously did not get along.
No, we did not. And then otherwise, you want to sell the condo and all. But I say, why you want to sell it? Because you're their father. Then
And I wanted to just talk to you about, what was the hardest for you in all of that? Because obviously I feel like we've been through a lot of losses.
Yes, it
And-
was very, very hard for me because I lost my brother, very, very, very close. And then my nephew and your mom. It was lots of pressure on me. I said, how am I going to handle with these kids? They are lost all the parents. And stubborn is fighting, you both brothers and so. It was very, very hard. Then you met, and then I said, oh my gosh, she's getting married and all. But I never ever liked that guy. When I did mention to you, Neeta, don't marry it. You never listen. I said, okay, that's fine. We will, help you, whatever it is.
And so finally we're going to jump over to, we got the divorce. It was
Yes,
done.
Done.
How did you feel?
I feel very happy. I still remember those days when you came. It was bitter cold, January month, and you say, I want to talk to you. I say, okay. And you still mentioned to me, oh, please don't get mad. I said, no, I'm not going to mad. Let's talk. Then you said, oh, I'm getting, he's abusing me and all that. I said, okay, what do you want to do? And she said, next day we having okay. I said,
And I wanted to kind of, I'm going to cut you off here because for the sake of time, But I also want to say that was the first time where I actually felt heard, and I felt that you were open without judgment. And I think a lot of times with strict upbringing from Asian immigrant or, just different upbringing of we're getting raised here in the West, and you were raised in the East.
Yeah.
And it's a very different way of upbringing, and I understand all of that. But I also, this was the first time that I felt that there was no judgment. Many times there's judgment, there's criticism, there's I told you so, but you didn't do any of that, which I was very grateful for.
But I asked you, what do you want it? I said, you are not going back because this guy is going to kill you. Let's file a divorce. I still remember I was going next day to India, and you said, Bua, can you change your flight? I said, okay. I said, we went and we will support you. I said, no, you are not going back to this family. That is going to guy kill you, and let's file a divorce. I still remember, and we went to police station and filed that complaint and all that. And I said, you know what, file a divorce. But I did talk to the parents. They said, well, let's compromise and this. And I said, no way.
What's your take on Indian aunties and uncles? In
In general, because they...
Do you hang out with a lot of them?
I do not hang around with the Indians because their thinking is totally different than me, and they like to protect their son, which is, even if it's a wrong, I don't like it.
But that's a general statement.
General statement, but I don't like it. Somehow,
my now husband is Indian. What do you say about him?
Indian, when I met Ajit, I still remember I was in India, and you called me, okay, Bua, he's coming, can you meet? I said, okay. Yes, I met him. I did ask questions, and I finally told, I said, Neeta, he's a nice guy, and you will be very happy with him. And I proved.
You approved. Ajit was approved by Bua.
I proved him. He was very respectable, and I respect him so much. So that's what I say, no, you're not going to find any better Indian guy than him, because I can see the both Indians guy. So that's what I really saw, the quality of him. So I say he's going to be the best one for you.
There are a lot of pressures for us as women to be the good daughter. It's a lot.
Of course, we do a pressure because we want her to be successful. We want you to be happy.
But what does success even mean?
Success is like in a sense, we have a good relationship with the family, with the husband and all that. Sometimes you have to be, person has to be sacrificed. It's not one-way street, it's a both-way street. Person should be...
What do you think of other friends that we know that are getting divorced or
because
breaking up?
Breaking up, the sense is because have to have patience, have to be... Sometimes people ask me, how you get married like 44 years? I say sometimes we have argument, we sit down, we talk and all that. And
do you think you listen to Uncle Glenn?
I do listen, and sometimes he listens to me. And success, I said, when you are working, you have to be, nobody's perfect. So everybody have ups and downs in the life. You have to talk and all that. And the more you get older, you realize that, hey, marriage is not like a overnight. You have to be compromised. You have to work it out. That's me,
How, in what ways are you untraditional?
Untraditional is like
you've been strict for most of my life. And then we started traveling together. I think this was after my divorce.
Yes, we travel a lot. I always mention
we then traveled the world.
We travel a lots of places. We learn a lot. And we get along. Sometimes we have argument, but then we forget about that. I say, okay, it's my fault. I should not act like that.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, it's sometimes my fault. I should not act like that.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yes.
Ooh,
I realize it's not like I don't realize, but I do.
Ears.
So then
thank you for saying that, Bua. Thank you for saying that.
Of course. You always help us. Always we get together. So it's not like we grudges keeping inside. We all get mad. We all have a human being, have a anger. But then after that, we realize, oh, that's not worth it.
What do
Life
you-
is too short.
But what do you think for most parents who would never say, it's my fault? They always say it's the younger person's fault. What do you say to them?
I will say no. They should, if you are wrong, you should admit, hey, this is my fault. I apologize. But lots of people having an ego, they would not accept that.
Yeah, you used to have a really big ego too. You used to. I'm
Used
saying.
to, but when you go older, think about it, read all this thing, then you realize, hey, I make a mistake. I should not be doing like that to kids.
And then you've also been reading a lot of people's books and.
Yes, I was reading. I attend lots of seminar with you. So when you go different places,
You went to A-Fest, you went to Estonia,
yeah, and
you
we
went to
meet lots
Croatia.
of different peoples. You get their idea, so you learn a lot of things.
Who is your favorite author or book that you read?
Oh God, I was reading so many other people. I was reading Shafali. I reading
Dr. Shafali?
Dr. Shafali and Dr. What's his name? That guy is very famous. I'm so bad in the name, but he's very good.
Jim Quick, you said.
Jim Quick, yes, he's my favorite too. I like him.
Okay, shout out to Jim Quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I read your podcast all the time, watch how you do.
Do you think that's why you've become more untraditional?
Yes. I read that. I say, wow, you are excellent. And then,
Thanks, boy.
and I read a lot. And I always tell that I'm so proud of you. And nowadays, it's not all the time I watch something else. I watch on that different people, how they talk, how they give advice, all these things. So you learn a lot from other people too, So life is too short. So that's what I always tell that. We make so many mistakes in life, but just forget it. Let's over with that. Do something different.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is one advice if someone right now is maybe fighting with their elderly family members? What should they do after this episode today?
I will say they should not be fighting. Sometimes they want to be good with the kids, but then they should sit down, talk to nicely, give what's the problem, solve the problem, and explain. And person should not be get mad at each other because
I think in the beginning, because we just recently had a fight in India because we
Right.
just went, and that was a really fun trip.
It was fun trip, very nice fun trip. The reason I was get mad at you, we came. I was tired, to be honest.
But you were tired, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of times when we try to do something, or if I also sent you were also in pain because we were on a very long flight.
And
it was
we are
15
tired.
hours, and you were tired, and I have a lot of energy, and sometimes, and you have a different set of energy, which I have to be mindful of.
Mm-hmm.
And and instead of maybe you saying, hey, Neeta, I just need to relax and take care of my body.
I should have said that rather than be getting mad. Then I realized later on, I said, damn, I should not be like, we came here for that, just for fun, then why we are fighting and why we are doing all this thing. But I was very, very tired. Sometimes when you're tired and you kept everything inside, you can't explore. You can't tell that person, hey, listen, I really not feeling good. I'm not want to go. So then you blow up.
Yeah, and sometimes I can't read your mind, but I know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
At this point in life, I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I think for anybody who had to be a mind reader for their elders, just know that when you come from a place of compassion and love, and I feel like we were even fighting, yelling at each other. I'm like, boy, just tell me what's wrong. I feel like you're in pain, and that's why you're acting this way.
The pain is like that. We are tired. It's a long flight back here. So I said, cannot express, Neeta, you.
But I wanted to say, like I was, because the next day, then you apologized.
Right. Then
and
I
I
said,
was really.
Then I realized that, it's
surprised.
not worth it because we came here for the short time period. We should have a good time, happy. And that's it. I realized. I said, okay, it's not worth it to keep everything inside. I should be more
No, and we were able to repair and forgive each other.
Give each other,
and then we had fun in Dubai.
Oh, we have great fun. I love that Dubai, and it was really nice having a great time.
What was the most fun?
Oh my gosh, I had most fun in the Miracle Garden. It was amazing. That is absolutely unbelievable. I love to. And then we have like that market, what they call. We went global.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
That was fun.
I was shocked. I said, wow, whole world is here. That was really very nice experience. I have it.
Okay, I need you to, we're going to get into our final segment. It's called Spilling the Chai. I'm going to ask you the questions.
Okay.
Who's a better cook? You or mommy?
In a different way, I'm a very good cook too, because I went to school. I got to learn all kind of cooking and all that. But she's very good too, because her system is different, and mine is I went to learn all kind of cooking, and she's particular in certain area.
Whose chai is better, mine or Ajit's?
I will say Ajit.
Huh? Why?
Ajit chai is he make very good tea.
What about me?
No, you make it too, but your tea is different than him.
Yeah, I put ginger in it.
No, he put that too, but you make it totally different way, which is I like it. It's not I don't like it. It's like a totally different taste on. But in the beginning, I like Ajit chai really good.
Okay.
But
okay. What about Aishwarya Rai or Deepika Padukone?
To be honest, I'm not interested in the Hollywood much.
Bollywood. If you had to pick one,
I will pick up Aishwarya Rai.
Yeah. What about Shah Rukh Khan or Amir Khan? Their movies.
Shah Rukh Khan movies are fun, and I do like it. He's very enthusiasm, very nice, make different movies and all. So I do like it. And Amir Khan is totally make a different kind of movies. I respect his movies too, so it's very difficult to compare. But if you like, yes, I like Shah Rukh Khan,
What is one word that describes the season of life right now?
Be happy.
Thanks, Bua. This was an amazing conversation.
Yeah, be happy.
Should we do more of these?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. All right. Maybe we'll bring you on.
It was nice. Very, very
this was
nice.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. Lots of
okay.
energy. Lots of open up.
Yeah. This is like therapy.
Yeah, it's kind of, I will say, therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a more open up.
Yeah. Thanks for going deep, Bua.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Until next time on the Brave Table. All right, friends. If you are so enlightened by this episode, I have linked 3 other episodes that talk about navigating family dynamics, navigating and beginning to heal your own patterns in relationship with your family members, and how to come to a place of your own sovereignty, your own self-healing. Because at the end of the day, we can have as much resentment as we can about the family members in our life. We can shove it under a rug. We can pretend that it didn't hurt us. We can claim that we're never going to speak to them again. But I don't know. I think that there is a way to have these brave conversations and to then let it go. And then to trust in the divine wisdom of what is meant to happen, what the universe has plans for you, and perhaps maybe there is that forgiveness. So I've linked it in the show notes for you. I hope you enjoy this episode. All throughout July, we are giving away gifts. We are giving away gifts. So if you have not written a review for the Brave Table, go ahead to iTunes, scroll all the way down on the Apple app and hit 5 stars, and you'll be able to write your review and screenshot it, because we will send you a free gift. All month of July, we are actually giving free gifts in the forms of hats, cards, and books. So while supplies last, if you go ahead and submit your 5-star review, and you can go ahead and send it to support@globalgrit.co. That is support@globalgrit.co. And this is for all of our US and Canada patrons. So thank you so much. for tuning in week after week. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Please subscribe. Send this to a family member, somebody that needs to hear this episode today, and go ahead and follow our journey at the Brave Table as well as at Neeta Bhushan. I will see you next time.